Hey guys, what's up? Okay, welcome to your reading. So we're going to start with our oracle cards over here. And then we'll kind of see what situations you've got going on this week. I do have about 30 minutes to do this reading, so just know that it's not going to go longer than 30 minutes. I just had some time. We've been kind of sick on and off, so my schedule's been a bit wonky because of that. Okay, we have the Earth Keeper. Actually, before even getting these, let me read that. All right, so number 18. Just as you're involved in co-creating your world, you are also responsible for its well-being. The Earth Keepers are dedicated to the stewardship of the earth and all life. They choose to hold the sacred dream of a planet where all beings live in peace and where the rivers and the air are clean. Remember that everything you do has an impact for 7 generations. You have outgrown your small dream of success and achievement and are ready to dream big with possibilities beyond your wildest expectations. Take on the mantle of the Earth Keeper and reach out to a friend in need whom you may not have been in touch with for some time. Take care of your pets and feed the strays that come by. Clean up your yard, as this is a reflection of your relationship to the earth. Grow the sacred dream and your personal life will flourish. Remember, it's not about me any longer. As you care for your body, you show your care for Mother Earth. So being with the stewardship of your health. As you care for your body, you show your care for Mother Earth. So being with the stewardship of your health. We'll take it. What are you putting in your mouth? Are you feeding on foods and thoughts that are not good for you? Start doing what you know will be good for you today. Well, okay. I'm going to keep that open just in case. Okay, so what's the bigger dream? Let's see that. What's the bigger dream here? Okay, some kind of like overcoming obstacles. Overcoming this idea that like life has left you out of something, maybe, you know, groups that felt like they could have been like more supportive or something of you, kind of like left you out in some way. Maybe that's also kind of slipping between the cracks of like systems and stuff. There's some kind of like your ability to overcome those kinds of things by actually turning your gaze towards like, oh, that sounds so, I didn't like how that came out of my mouth. Turning towards your choice to see faith over repeating patterns, over systems that, you know, did not serve you in the past, over like all of this stuff that may have felt like it just kind of let you down. I think that there's something that you're really good at where it's like you're able to kind of hold a vision of this. It's almost like a higher vibration, or like a, and not to sound cocky or to say like you're the, you know, I don't know how to say this without offending anyone. Not to say like, I'm just going to say it, not to say the whole like chosen one thing and stuff. Like if one is chosen, we all are. So it's kind of this just like, what do you do with what you have? What do you do with what's been laid out for you? What do you do with what you've been through? I think that you have a wild ability to look at those things and be like, it doesn't really matter what happened. It matters what I do with it. I think that's kind of ultimately your bigger dream here. So, take care of your pets, feed the strays that come by, clean up your yard. Okay, so it's not about me any longer. Who is it about? Specifically in your life. We have the Fool. And the Nine of Swords. Okay. Who's someone that maybe you could be helping this week, or you could be like turning your attention towards? This could be somebody who's starting a project. Actually, let me start with the one that popped in my head first, and then I'll get to this. This could be someone who is like pregnant or like a child who has a lot of fear, who has a lot of things going on. This could also just be like a pregnant woman who is having fear about, you know, having a child and different things that go along with that. You could be really focused on helping someone through specifically their fears, and maybe something that you feel like you want to lean towards is that like you have this ability to kind of nurture people by saying, here's this other part of the process you can't see yet that maybe encourages your strength to come out, you know? This could also be someone who's starting a project who is kind of like going on this journey and they have a lot of fears around it. You could be almost like an anchor back to why they started in the first place, like what their dream was in the first place, and feeling really supportive of that. What's something in your environment that's like got your attention? Strength. This reminds me of like almost gardening and trying to like revive plants or something. So I think that overall this week you're just going to be trying to shed the light on certain situations. It does feel like a lot of them are going to be very brief, like here and there, and then there's going to be one big relationship that you recognize that you're really nurturing this week. But overall, I kind of think that basically what you're doing is you're trying to say, let me give you some strength, let me give you some guidance, like let me share with you what comes after this, because you're in like the I'm not feeling great phase. And I think you're offering something that hasn't been offered into those specific situations. And I think just by kind of like offering them, that is enough. You know what I'm saying? Like it's enough to get people thinking. It's enough to kind of like share your light, but not to drain it. Because I see that you're so focused on doing this in your own life. Okay, wait, hold on. If that is how you're feeling this week, is like not wanting to share your own light, like just kind of dip in and out of situations, but not really go into them. I think that what's actually going to happen that you might not see this week, but that you might actually feel really good in, and like it satiates something in your soul because it's part of who you are, is if things do come up, if you are having like all of these things going on with yourself, I actually think that this is a really big message of like, take the time to help someone else. Like your stuff doesn't deserve to be backburnered because like you feel the need to save everyone else, you know? But your stuff can be paused if you notice you have the ability to like help someone that you genuinely want to help. I think there's also this energy of like being able to slow down in the realm of like helping people. Where it's like, if you feel like you didn't get, like, you've been doing this for yourself, by the way. I think that this is the focus, is that you've been doing this for yourself and it's given you a belief system within it. So now it's kind of like each one teach one. And I think that might feel difficult because we're taught to like protect our energy and guard our hearts and all of this stuff. But I think your heart's kind of like open to go be I don't know, just a strong voice in with someone who might be struggling, you know? What else is in your environment? I actually see, okay, it seems like there's two strong flings going on, two strong relationships or situations where you're offering guidance. So what I see happening because of all of this is that you end up being feeling very confident, feeling also like recognized in some way. And I don't know if that's publicly or if that's like within a group or a person recognizes you and like shares your information with someone else. But what this looks like is that you help someone beyond the surface that maybe other people have only been able to like, you know, skirt around. And you help people kind of like, you're not afraid to go underwater and see what's going on with them. Like while everyone's kind of wanting to get into the spring and summer vibes of like, you know, being above the water and just enjoying it and coasting on that and then going back into like this winter depression. I'm just kidding. That's just me. No, we all have that, right? I tell myself. So basically, I think that you're like, no. Any opportunity that I can make time for or can like slow down enough to understand what my gifts are and like apply those to something and it's not hurting me, like, right, there's some factors to filter that through, but like you really got to understand your priorities and set them and then go do this. So my like understanding is that you already have established your priorities and you know which things you absolutely like will not back down on, and there's other things that you're like, no, that's okay, like that can wait and I'll get to that, and you know, it is what it is. So sorry, I kind of tangented, not gonna try. Yeah, so basically I actually see that going in your favor, which might not seem like the obvious way to like highlight your own gifts, if that makes sense. There is someone that you're helping with a tough marriage or a tough relationship within family, or that could be spousal, that could be familial, that could be I don't know, maybe you're helping someone with a kid and you're also kind of like around that kid. So, like there could be a lot of different variations to this, but I feel like ultimately you choosing to put your good energy towards people who could actually use your help is like really highlighted this week and encouraged. Why do I feel like the energy started off as being like, nope, I can't do that. Nope, I don't have time for that. Nope. It's almost like, what's the thing that you're blocking your energy from? Oh, that's interesting. You don't want to be judged as like, I think you don't want to be judged as like being too much, like being too involved, being like so like it's almost like if you do these things, I wonder if you feel confident, but then there's like this struggle of people judging that confidence, and not recognizing like the thing that isn't recognized in that self-judgment, whether or not people are doing that to you or not, is that your heart is like resting where it wants to. Your heart is going towards what it desires. Your gifts are coming out, like you're shining. And I think that can be a difficult transition for someone who had to learn how to make, like lemonade out of lemons. Because there's a lot of things that pull on those, whatever's going on. So it's almost like you've had to apply certain things to your life to where you can kind of come up and breathe the fresh air, and you've learned to successfully do that. Now you're turning around and helping others with that, but also it's playing on an insecurity of yours that says that it's like this is your challenge to apply that same energy to yourself and help will this where your heart wants to be forward, even though there's something about previous insecurities that says, please don't make yourself that vulnerable again. Or like you're overshooting it, or there's something that tells you to be smaller. And it's not about you actually listening to that voice. It's about you applying the thing. It's like you're still using your own techniques towards yourself and you're teaching them, but that doesn't make you like, it just might be awkward and challenging to keep using those on yourself while still kind of like shining your light, sharing your gift. So this could look like if you have anxiety or depression or something and you're helping others with that, or if you have relationships that aren't all, smooth and gravy and wonderful, but you're helping others with their relationships. You're being a support system for them. There can be kind of these like conflicting thoughts within yourself. And I think your challenge this week is going to be really to try to overcome those thoughts and be like, this is me shining. It doesn't mean that I don't have flaws. It doesn't mean that I think I know better than everyone or whatever. It's like, this is just me following my heart, and this is where it gets me. And I kind of like, I gotta let that ride out at some point, it's almost like I gotta have enough faith in myself and keep applying my own ability to see that faith and see that light. To a point where, it's like planes and construction vehicles and everything. To the point where you actually feel on the outside what you know yourself to be on the inside. Like, it's almost like the universe wants to reward you, wants to grant you permission to be who you are, like outright and out in the world, and like to be that beautiful self out in the world. And there's some kind of insecurity that challenges that in you, but it's a reward. It's like, now let all of this harmony and grace that you've been practicing for self, like let that kind of level up and see what that next level is like. So, and you got 6 of Wands, success on the bottom. King of Cups, a lot of emotional control going on. 4 of Swords, rest. Ace of Pentacles or discs. This says wealth. 8 of Wands, movement. I think you could actually make a business out of this. I think the other thing is like, you could once you find the thing that works for you, that lets you keep moving forward, like letting your heart flow, but within the universe, not just within your own universe. I think you're gonna see that it just takes off. Like I think that I think you're overcoming something in you that says you're not allowed to like shine bright. You're not allowed to be seen. You're not allowed to be seen for who you really are, and like let that be a good thing. There's a big insecurity that you're overcoming, I think, a lot this week. It feels like it's a very recent and sudden transition. So with those, they always kind of, for me, feel very awkward. But if you can just like, you know, forgive yourself and have that grace for yourself throughout that awkwardness, and like let people see you change in real time, if that's what it takes. You know, like don't worry about what it looks like that you're changing. Like wonder about where it brings you. Because I think it's a really great place that it's bringing you. And I do think that there's something that's like coming to fruition out of all of this that maybe you don't outright see. If you're not already in a community for this, I see you being in a community for this. If you don't already have some kind of way that you publicly address this, I actually see that happening. So maybe you have like a social media account where you're like marketing your stuff. Maybe you have something like where like a community or like a group or something that you kind of share some of your knowledge, some of your information with, and that group feels like it's really strengthening, or that, you know, or maybe even there's a set of people who you are learning not to block out anymore, because you're not on me time, you're not on guard, you're not on protect thyself from thy world, because sometimes we get in that energy, but I think also it's necessary. So like, I think there's a reason why we get into that energy, right? It's good to honor that reason. But when you come out, it can kind of be like, try not to be too hard on yourself about why you haven't been showing up in those places, or why you've thought different things about those people. Like, I think this is about you. Maybe there's chances to kind of show up differently to places that you feel like you've been blocking, or you've been blocked from, or you know, I mean, like, don't show up at anyone's house that like it doesn't want you there. But like, I think that you're learning to just be comfortable with yourself, be comfortable in your own skin. And I think you're showing up differently. And I think these changes are actually going to be more smooth transitions to others than you would give yourself credit for. But I think for you, you might kind of notice these changes back to back. And I think whenever that happens, the challenge this week is to be like, that's right, notice the changes. And try not to convince yourself that because you can see a contrast in your growth, that's ever a bad thing. Try to see it as a positive thing. Try to see it as your hard work paying off, your hard work becoming something that now you can share with the world. It feels like a very good energy, and I think it feels like a good energy within you. But when you let people have feedback about it, when you open it to the public eye, when you open it to that, it might feel like you're working through the idea of like rejection sensitivity, or fear of rejection, or fear of abandonment, or fear of all those things. And it's like, yes, you're meant to be there, and yes, you're meant to work through those things, but none of the answers are back down, back out. I think you're really in a place where you're meant to be. Okay, with a friend or with a person with a family, there's someone, the issue is that someone's being like hasty, impatient, impulsive, like maybe easily tricked, lacks direction. Maybe that's this person. But whatever it is, it's like that's kind of the core of the issue. And there's something that you see. Let me see. What do you see? Let me ask what you see there. Oh, so interesting. Okay. You see confidence, attractiveness, passionate, passion, independence, determination, social butterfly, vivacious. Okay, so someone's just overthinking the crap out of themselves, which we know, we get that. We've been there. We are there. So I think that this is about you reminding this person, like not trying to, you know, like just validating whatever. It's almost like, you know how in the Matrix, Morpheus is like, Neo, walking the path and knowing the path are two very different things. For you, I think this week it's going to be that you know that this person needs validation for what they're going through. And I think your way of encouraging them and giving them that validation is actually just to remind them of what you know to be true about them that is beautiful and that you've seen and that you've seen firsthand. Like instead of addressing the actual issue, because I think that a lot of the issues might kind of subside when this person realizes they're better at their own discernment and making decisions for themselves and seeing things clearly than they know how to understand right now. Which, I'm just going to point it out, might actually be the same energy that you're in. Is that you're better at it than you feel you are at this moment. And other people can see that about you, you know? And then let's see what's going on with this little kid thing. Consistency, practical, reliable. So maybe you're helping a kid or someone who started a new project find, or you're hearing about, you know, like them trying to find consistency, practicality, reliability, patience. And what's your response to that? Addiction, materialism, trapped in bondage. Okay, wait, why? Got 3 more minutes. Okay. Hey, some things we understand and some things we don't. And I'm just going to preface what I say next with some things we don't understand, and it's okay that we don't understand them, but it's important that we know we don't understand them. Also, I think that not everything is weighted on you. Not everything is dependent on you to change certain energies and to influence them. Some things are just difficult, and people need consistency from us. They need to know that we're not going anywhere. We're not changing who we are because they're going through a rough time. That we can balance and maintain what's going on with us while they just figure it out. And what that shows them is trust in them, that they are going to know how to figure it out. So I think that there is something that could come up this week where it's like you could be feeling the need to like help someone with a new project, to give advice, to maybe like help a child, or like this just is like a young person, the Fool energy, or someone who has like recently started learning about something. You might have the kind of like impulse to be like, oh, this is what you can do, and like almost straightening someone up like a show dog, you know? And I think a gentle reminder this week is to be like, not everybody's asking for that. Some people are just sharing with you what they're going through, or they're just, you can see it in the environment. I think that's the difference, is this person's probably going to be sharing with you what's going on and needing like a strong sense of calmness in the feedback, validation of self in the feedback. And this person's probably not going to be asking you for help, just kind of like sharing with you what they're going through, how they're processing something. And I think just kind of asking if they need help, or like just asking questions about your role in that. Like, do you need to vent? Do you need support? Do you need to listen, or do you need someone to listen to you? Getting clarification first is going to be great. And yeah, I don't think it's going to be a big deal, but maybe that ends up happening to you. But regardless, it's just kind of reflecting back to you, maybe that you're in this transition time of learning to do things differently, and like learning to accept the world that's around you, because you could have kind of been in this little hidey hole going on. And so now it's all about you gaining comfort around like normal and natural things. And like, if you don't feel like you're able to share the gift that you've identified is needed, if you don't feel like it's working, it's okay to just take a step back, you know? Because I do think with one person, you're going to be helpful, and with one person, taking the step back is going to be like, it's going to be more helpful for them than whatever might happen. I don't think it's going to be the worst thing in the world, but I think there's kind of a gentle reminder there to be like, it's okay to take a step back. And then to kind of just like do something to go back into your world. Because I think that's the challenge, is like, when do I go back to me time? And when do I go to like share my gift time? And I think share your gift time is going to feel really natural. And when you need me time, it's going to be like someone has some kind of an issue that you can't see their need in it, and you can't meet it either. Like, you're trying, but you can't. Or you're thinking about it and it's just making you super anxious. I think one is in flow and one disrupts the flow. And so when that's happening, maybe just kind of being like, okay, I understand. Like, that's your process. It's a difficult part of the process. I'm sorry that that's where you're at. And just kind of leaving it at that, and then going and doing your own thing and recharging. I think that's a big theme that you're learning this week, is like, when do I switch those energies without feeling like I'm not giving it all versus I'm only giving to myself? Like, now it's the balance of interchanging between those two. Okay, so that's what I see. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in another video. All right, bye.